My name is Michelle. I'm the one you guys are usually talking to. Okay, I see someone has sent a message. I'm the one that you guys are usually talking to in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today, we're going to talk about how to customize your blueprints. And I get this question a lot. People are asking, how come when I add interior dimensions, they're not shown from the layout step, they're not showing up in the folder step? And that's because we used to get a lot of different complaints. And if I zoom in, you'll see that over here, there's a whole bunch of dimensions that some are needed, some are not needed. And people were complaining that there are so many dimensions migrating over to the folder step. So it was kind of messing up the blueprints. That's why. So we're like, all right, now we're going to give users the option to add in wall-to-wall dimensions and their own manual dimensions interiorly. The exterior dimensions are still going to be transferred over, but you can still kind of deactivate those if you like. But let's go ahead and switch over to the folder step. If you have any questions, please go ahead and send a message in the chat, and I'll switch back and forth to see if anybody has any questions. And I'm glad I switched the last time because, like I said, I just realized that I have not been live for the past 15 minutes. So I do apologize about that. All right, so when you come to your folder step, you're gonna have your floor plan, your site plan, the roof plan, elevation, and cross-section plans. All right, in the floor plan, we're gonna start by clicking on your ground floor. Now, there's something I want you guys to notice. Like at the top of the screen, you have your symbols, text, shapes, and dimensions. In your plan detail step, however, you do not have the option for your dimensions, but you do have the option for symbols. And the reason this is important is because every single symbol you add to your plan details is going to show up on your in your folder step, on every single plan you create in your folder step. But every plan that you click on in the folder step, you have the option to add in symbols, but those symbols are not going to show up in a new plan if you create. So for example, I added this couch in my plan detail step. So if I hover my mouse over it, shows me that it was added in the plan details. So I have to go back to the plan details to edit or to delete that couch. But I added this fireplace in the folder step, so I can edit it here. Now, when I exit, and let's say I wanted to create a new ground floor plan, and this is only because like sometimes you have the same plan, and some people want to add in exterior dimension on one blueprint. The next one is only going to show interior dimension. The next one only going to show something else. So this is how now you have the option to create these different type of blueprints. I already had started one, so I'm going to click here. But you see that the last plan that I clicked on, it had the fireplace, it had the interior dimensions that I already added, but on this one, it only has the symbol that I added in the plan detail step. So that's like why the plan detail symbols are kind of important. If you needed symbols to show on every single blueprints that you create, that you add those symbols in your plan details. If you don't need symbols to show on every single blueprint and you're creating different types of blueprints, then you don't even worry about that. You don't even have to worry about it, But one of the things about the symbols in the plan detail step is there are no dimensions icon or option in the plan details. So if you needed, let's say you needed to do some kind of a spacing and show the different spacing, and I'm going to show you that in just a second, then I suggest to go to the folder step and use the symbols and the dimension options in the folder step. So let me go back. I'm going to click on ground floor. And I'm going to delete these because we just did those. Okay, so one of the things to be able to add your dimensions in your interior or just add the type of dimensions that you want that's not already included in your blueprint, you're going to select dimension. And then you have two options. You have wall-to-wall dimensions and you have your manual drawing dimensions. This wall-to-wall dimension, when you click on it, it gives you a horizontal and a vertical line, just depending on where the walls are, right? But when I zoom, I want you to notice that there are dots on this, on the lines. So if you needed your dimension for just the interior of, let's say, the master bedroom that I have it on right now, I'm going to click on this dot, and this dot. And it's going to give me the dimension just for the interior without including the wall thicknesses. Now I can add a text here. And I can say no wall thickness. And I'm going to change my font, 36, make it bold. And now I see that this one has no wall thickness. I think I made it too big. It has no wall thickness. All right. Or you can add whatever font you would like to add. Now, if I decide, okay, I want to show the wall-to-wall dimensions, but I want to show the exterior to the interior, not necessarily the other side of the room, but the interior. Now you see that, I put it smack dab in the middle, didn't I? Now you see that you have two sets of dimensions. The wall thickness is here, which is the exterior wall thickness is 8 inches. And then you have the room dimension, which is 13 feet and 8 inches. Now you can add more text. You can add any kind of like arrows and symbols to that if you would like. Now let's switch over here. One of the cool things about this is, when you add your symbols in there. So I've added a fireplace and I need to see, okay, I need my fireplace to be 5 feet 9. Actually, let's say I need my fireplace to be just 5 feet, not 5 feet 9 inches, just 5 feet, right? I'm going to select dimensions and I'm going to click on manual drawing dimension. It's not the wall to wall. It's not factoring the wall at all. I'm just going to draw where my fireplace is. Double click to end. And I'm going to select that. So you'll see that's 5 feet 7, but I just needed a 5 foot dimension. I don't need anything extra. All right. Now I see, all right, my fireplace is a lot bigger than what I need it to be. I'm going to click on this fireplace. And because I added the fireplace in the folder step, I am able to edit it out. Edit it. I'm going to lower my dimension of the width and make sure it's at 5 feet. And then I can either click and move my fireplace, or I can click on the dimension and move my dimension. One of the things I want you to also notice is I was able to move the manual dimension that I added, but you're not able to move and relocate the wall-to-wall dimension, only because remember the wall-to-wall dimension, the software automatically detects where the walls are. So once you click to add it in, it's going to be set. You cannot move it. If you, like, for example, here, I kind of have it in the middle of where the square footage is. I'll have to delete that and draw it again. But for the manual dimension, you can click on it and you can move it just about anywhere. All right, and now for this, I wanted to, another manual dimension you can add is, I want to show, let's say, the distance between the fireplace and the couch. All right, that distance is 6 feet, 10 inches. So if I say, okay, the distance is a lot further than I want it to be, I cannot edit this couch here. I can't move it. I can only move this dimension, but I cannot edit the couch. I'm going to go back to my plan detail step. Click on this, and then I'm going to move this slightly up. Go back to folders. And you're going to see that I moved the couch, and now it's closer. But I don't need this full dimension, so I'm just going to click on it and move it back. All right, this is where I need it to be. Perfect. And then you can add text and everything else in there. This also comes in handy with spacing for, like, let's say you've added the island in the kitchen. I already added the dimension, the manual dimension for that to show the distance. Now, the one caveat is you're not able to use this option in the 3D steps. That's something that we've discussed, and it's something that the team is working on incorporating at some point. But you're able to make these different changes for your blueprints, especially if you're trying to get permits or trying to share your blueprints out before you start building or remodeling. Something else you can do. So let me come over here. You have the dimensions from the exterior that were transferred over into your plan, your folder step. And sometimes the dimensions are kind of bunched up. So like you see right here, we have the windows, the walls, and you have 2 different windows actually. So this dimension is just showing you the space between one wall and the window and the space between just the window, and then the space between one window and another wall, and like all of that. So it's a lot. What you can do is click on it, and we're going to actually uncheck it to deactivate it and not show it on the plan. So I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to just manually go ahead and just add in the dimension that I need instead of just having all those bunched up dimensions. Now, what's going to happen is the line is gray, but once you download the blueprint, those dimensions are not present. It's not even gray. It's just not there. But as you're working, you'll see all the dimensions that are not going to be present are going to be grayed out. And then you're going to use this dimension tool, manual dimension. And now you're just going to add it. I'm going to click here and here, just showing the spacing between these two windows. Let's say I needed the dimension for just the window. I can use that as well. All right. And now you see I added this dimension on the window. But if I needed my window to be larger, you have to go back to your wall opening step to expand out the width of the window. So just keep that in mind. If you need it smaller, and you do it that way. Another option you have is in the right panel, you have your plan options. Now on this specific plan, I've added interior dimensions. I've added, some exterior dimensions. And let's say I needed, you're going to click outside of the plan, just anywhere on the white space. You have these options right here. I'm actually going to uncheck area. On this specific plan, I don't want to show the square footage. I don't want to show the area of each room. All I'm focusing on are the interior and exterior dimensions. I can uncheck your compass rows as well. And mine's right here. I can uncheck it. Wherever your compass rose is in the layout step is where it's going to show up in your blueprint. Now, one of the things I want everybody to remember is if your compass rose, let me go here. If your compass is far away from your house on the grid, just really far, right? And this is what it's looking like. When you go to your folder step, your plan is going to be zoomed out and is going to show this huge white space of where your compass rose is. So always keep that in mind. If your compass rose is far away from your house, when you download your blueprints or when you're working on it, you're going to see what that download is going to look like. And a lot of times I get, Michelle, well, my plan is zoomed all the way out. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Or sometimes it's cut in half. And that's because your compass rose is far away from your plan. So always just keep that in mind. If you come to the plan and it's something like this, yes, we can right click and we can move it just to work. But if you came to it and this is how it originally was looking, that means this is how far out the zoom is going to be when you download your blueprints. So always go back to your layout step and always move your compass rose close to the house. It doesn't have to be in the house. You can move it close to the house. But then if you don't really need it, you can just uncheck. So now you have I have my compass here. I'm just going to uncheck it and just take it away. If you need it, you can check it to add it back in. So those are some of the things that you can do. Now I'm going to go exit out of here and I'm going to select my the new floor plan. For this floor plan, I have all of my dimensions already unchecked, or they're checked actually. Let me uncheck them. I have I'm going to uncheck, and that shows that this one, I don't need any interior or any exterior dimensions showing. Okay. But what I want to do is now, since we do not have electrical or plumbing blueprints, we always recommend that you can use our options for shapes and text to indicate where things are going to go. So I'm going to go to my symbols, go to technical, and I'm going to select all for symbols. And this is a refrigerator socket. Okay. So here I have no symbols on here as my refrigerator. I just wanted, this is going to be where the socket blueprint is, right? Or you can add the symbols and then add the socket. So I'm going to click on here because my refrigerator is going to be, actually, no, my refrigerator is going to be here. So now I'm going to increase I'm going to activate my aspect ratio conversion, which means that when I activate this, if I increase the height or the width of this symbol, everything's going to increase at the same time. And I also can turn it like at an angle if I needed to. All right. Now I have this symbol here. I'm going to add an arrow. I'm going to click here and just showing that there's going to be, let's say, another socket right here. Or showing the distance between two sockets, right? All right, and now I'm going to add a text. Fridge plug. All right, or any text you want to add, you add that text in there. And now you can create a whole blueprint showing where the different sockets is, or where you can indicate where your electrical or plumbing is going to go. If I click on this, I'm going to select this arrow and let's say plumbing goes here. And in the right, you have the option to change the different type of arrows, or if you want it to be a dashed line. If you want the representation to be something completely different, you can. If I were to add this box in here, you can expand the box and you can add just about anything, right? There. You can add just about anything. So you have those options to indicate where things are going to go in your on your blueprints. So from the symbols, you have your technical catalog, and you have all of this right here. So, and then one of the things too is I want you to know you can create a key for your blueprint. So even though when I hover my mouse over this, it says refrigerator socket, when you click on it, you don't have to just use it for a refrigerator socket, right? You can click, I can add it here. My advanced ratio is activated. So I'm going to increase it. And then the cool thing is now I can add text and I can put fridge plug. All right. And then what I can also do is I'm going to add a text. I'm going to add a text right here that says symbol key. And just expand this font. So any symbols that I've added on I keep clicking out of it, sorry. Any symbols I've added on my blueprints, I can create a key that shows what those symbols are. So then anybody that's looking at my blueprints, they'll be able to see where this key is, what this key represents, what all these symbols represent. You have those options as well. Now, one of the things too is when you go to your plan details, something that is not in your folder step, in the plan details, you can indicate what these rooms are going to be. Before I get into that, let me switch over and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, good. No one has any questions. All right. In your plan detail step, you can go and choose what types of what these rooms are. So for example, here I want you to show where is blue. This is where I'm indicating that everything that's in blue when I look at this plan is a bedroom. All right, so I click on here. Let me see, do I have any bedrooms? Like here, right here is a bedroom. Click on this blue, and I'm just going to drop it in right here. So anything, just looking at the plans, anything that's in blue is going to be a bedroom. So then anything that's in, let's say, purple is going to be like a closet. So there's a closet right here, and same thing for everything else. You can activate your repeat action. Click on this and closet. All right. Now remember too, in your layout step, to change the name of all of your rooms, you have to do that in the layout step under room types. So remember that. Go to layout step under room types. Click on the name, and you can either drag and drop, right? Or I'm going to click on the in the room, and in the right panel under information, I'm going to put living room. And then in the folder step, it's going to automatically change to living room. So just keep that in mind. Folder step in plan details. You also have your wall type options right here. Now the wall type, when you hover over your mouse, you will see the name of what we have it represented as. But always remember, with everything in our software, you can use your imagination and you can create it, use it for what you want to create it for, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what this name says. So if I click on this insulated exterior wall, I can use this and add it on an interior wall if I wanted to. And now this wall is what I want it to be. It doesn't necessarily and then you can create your key and add an arrow coming from the folder step to just show what kind of wall that is. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's go back to folder step. All right, one of the things too is, let me go back. You have your site plan. The next set of plans are your site plan. On the site plan, all of your items that you created in your layout step for your land and the site is in creating your lot is going to show up on your site plan. Now, I did not create a lot for this one, but you see that all my items from the exterior step shows up on my site plan. So I have my fence on here. And when I move my mouse, you'll see that the distance between the fence and the house, I've already added this manual dimension already here. I also have my walkway and my driveway represented. Now, if you were to have your materials, anything that you add from the material step it's going to be a top-down view. My materials are showing on my house as well. So you see the roof material, you see all of this. And then with the site plan, you can create same thing. You create different lines, text, and dimensions within the site plan as well. The site plan will be different from your blueprints, but you'll have the opportunity to download that when you download, either create a document to download or you download your PDF blueprint on your project information page. Now, you have your roof step, your roof plan. And on your roof plan, it gives you the percentages of all of your slopes, your downward slopes. Now, some people don't want the percentages to show. They rather it in degrees. In the right panel, you can uncheck actually right now it's on degrees, but you can uncheck the degree option and it's going to give you the percentages. But most people prefer the degree option so they know kind of how the degrees of each slope on your plan. I use a multi-slope roof on this house, so all of the slopes are about the same degrees coming down. On each of these plans, you also have the option in the right panel to download your plan individually, and this is just going to be one page download. It's not going to be downloading a full book. And this comes in handy. Let's say you downloaded the full book already, but you made some changes just to the roof plan, right? You can come and just print out the roof plan without having to download the whole book itself. But you can always download the book again if you needed to. So I'll go back to my folder step. Now, one of the things I want you to look at is, let's go to before we get to cross section, we're going to click on elevation views. With your elevation views, same thing. I think I did this in my elevation webinar to kind of just show you that the dimension tool here now gives you the elevation dimension option and your manual dimension option. There is no wall-to-wall dimension. That's added on the ground floor. If you wanted to add a wall-to-wall dimension, you can click on this. You can start here and then click at the end of this. You can add a wall-to-wall dimension. So you can also do it on here as well. So you have that option, but there's no actual the automatic wall-to-wall dimension. As for your elevation dimension, if you click on this, you can set your elevation just about anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be just on the very top. You can even set what the elevation is for the tree that you've added. Now, notice that I have the trees and the chairs are already added to this elevation. That's because in the furnishing step, all of the items I added in the furnishing step, I made sure I selected that item, and then in the right, I scroll down and make sure I check for it to show on the cross-section elevation views. If I didn't want it to show in the cross-section, I'm going to uncheck that. And when I go back to my folder step, you will notice that it automatically updates and the tree is no longer going to be present. All right. Now you can make any types of any type of symbols or lines that you want, or arrows that you wanted to add here. And then you can add a text next to it. As well. So just those are some options that you have. So you can be creative with our text and our lines and arrows and stuff to indicate where things are going to go on your plan, as well as your dimensions. We also have the symbols option here as well. So if, let's say, you wanted to add an outlet on the outside of your house and you want to indicate where the outlet is going to go, you can use this, and I'm going to add it here. I'm just going to expand, make sure my ratio conversion is activated. I'm going to expand it out. I'm going to change this color to, let's say, a white or something a little bit more conspicuous, red, right? To kind of show where this is. And then I'm going to I can take this, I can draw out an arrow, but for this one, I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to write what this is, right? So you have those options. Now, one of the cooler things is I've been able to show some of my users is you can now you can now set your elevations and dimensions for, let's say, cabinets and furnishing that you have inside of the blueprints. Now, let me preface this. We do not have custom, a way to build out custom cabinets or any like cabinet spacing or anything like that. So your cabinets are going to be based off of the items that you are able to customize in the product catalog in your furnishing step. But if you were to add something, let's say you liked something that you added, and I went ahead and I worked on this laundry room, so you guys can see, you can turn your cross-section elevation to where you want it to be. And then let me move your camera inside. All right, move my camera in the wrong place. All right, I'm going to move it because I need it to be inside the laundry room. All right. All right, this is where I needed to be. And I noticed that my items are not checked in here. So let me go back in to my laundry room, and I'm going to just click to show all my plans. Let me see. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go to folder step. Hopefully I got it at the right angle. All right, there we go. All right, now while I'm in the angle that I have, it's not the best, but the angle that I have in here kind of exposes my cross section for my washer and dryer, right? I want to show my elevation for my washer and dryer. Click on dimension, and now I'm able to now just click on here, and I show where this washer and dryer is, and then where these pieces of furnishing is, where this what is it, the floating shelves are. I can indicate where these floating shelves are, right? And then I can add lines, arrows, and text and all of that to your to my blueprints. So just keep in mind that you're able to customize and just kind of think outside of the box when it comes to creating your different elevation views, cross-section views, your blueprints, and all of that using arrows, text, symbols, and all of that in your folder step. I hope I was able to answer everyone's questions. If you do have questions, hold on, when can the activate ratio symbol be used in this folder only? The activate ratio symbol is actually present in all of the steps. Let me go back here. When you go to your furnishing step, you see where this option right here is. When it's activated, turn this around. When it's activated, if I was to edit the dimensions for this sink, deactivate my collisions, everything's going to change at the same time. My height, my length, and my width will change at the same time. So it's in this step, and I believe it's also in your, it's in your wall opening step as well. So if you look at the window here, while it's activated, if I click to adjust the height, it's also going to adjust the width and where it sits in the sill. So wall opening and the furnishing step, and I believe the exterior step does not have it, but all the where you can add products, which will be the wall opening and the furnishing, the ratio is also there. All right, nobody has any questions. Sorry once again for being late and thinking I was already on. This webinar is going to be sent to your email, so you can always check back. And if you have any questions, send us an email at support@cedreo.com. And this video is also going to be stored in the knowledge base towards the bottom where it says webinar. You can access all of our videos from there. I also went in depth to talk more about the cross-section elevation plans, as well as how to create a document in the software as well. All right. Thank you. You guys have a good day.